Our next candidate is Jeff Hardin.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for hosting this. And, I really do appreciate the opportunity here I do have a very big interest in PPAC. So my name is Jeff Hardin, and I'll just go ahead and just say that as a member of PPAC, I will empower and renew what our founding fathers inscribed in the Constitution, securing the exclusive right to inventors for their discoveries. It's that very idea, that an invention from an ordinary private citizen could be considered her property and that it could be protected as a right, which is really interesting because the only time that right is mentioned in the Constitution is in the patent clause. That's what made the United States the global innovation leader in the world. And so, it's this very thing is putting inventors first and returning to a strong patent system. That's why I would like to serve. And as an American inventor, I consider that to be my duty. A little bit about me. I'm a business owner. I'm an inventor. I'm a technology director, and I'm also an inventor rights advocate. I'm a founder of an IT consulting firm established 18 years ago, so we're close to 2 decades now. We provide business continuity services to small to medium-sized businesses, and I manage data center operations, IT security, and network design. I'm also the IT director, the technology director for CityRise Network here in Houston, and also West University and Crosspoint Church. I'm the information architect and director of that multi-campus network, and we provide technology solutions and IT risk management, virtualization. I know it's a lot of technical stuff, but that's what I do. And I made a list because I do so much. I don't ever sleep. I'm also a software developer, chamberplanet.com. I develop secure web-based member management platform for chambers of commerce. I'm on the board of directors for the Jesus and Science Foundation. I serve on the board providing technology oversight to meet its core objectives. I was also an international ambassador with Rotary International. I was selected to represent Texas District 5830 in the Group Study Exchange Program to the Dominican Republic. I studied computer science at university, and I'm a certified engineer. And some of that's kind of, some of that is how I pay bills. But as far as, being an advocate for inventors, I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm a nerd. I read Supreme Court decisions for fun. I mean, who does that? I do, I guess. I'm a pro se inventor. I currently hold 8 patents with others pending. And I'm also, a pretty strong inventor rights advocate. I mean, I've been to DC several times, actually multiple times. Last year, I met on the request of the IP subcommittee chief counsel to talk about legislative patent reforms. I've traveled to DC many times to meet with congressional representatives. I was also a witness at the Success Act. I'm pretty sure that that's going to come into the conversation later. I testified at those public hearings in Alexandria, and also submitted a paper to the Patent Office and provided 7 specific legislative recommendations so that they can increase the number of patents applied for and obtained by people in underrepresented groups. I'm an established author. I've written articles on IPWatchdog.com, which is a renowned website in the patent sphere. I was also asked to serve on the advisory board on the Inventor Rights Coalition, asked by a former commissioner of the USPTO. I'm an active member of the Houston Inventors Association. Also organize events. We had a really active panel last year. We invited the former AIPLA president and a district judge from the Southern District of Texas on the panel. That was a really lively discussion. We talked about patents with inventors and with, some dignitaries there. And I'm also an advisor on the Young Inventors Association of America, advising their Young Inventor Showcase, which is a really great program. It's an inventor competition for youth, promoting idea to business development. We can talk about that too. That's a really phenomenal program that I went to that program as a result of my study on the Success Act. And I'm a PPAC stakeholder. I mean, I provide public comments. They've used my comments before, and I really enjoy that too. So yeah, that's me. I think I hit my 2 minutes right on the spot. But yeah, so thanks for having me, and I'm going to enjoy this conversation and see where this goes.
Jeff, the question is, what role do patents play? What role should they play?
Well, in a nutshell, I mean, it provides a means to protect inventors with their inventions, and it gives them a time to bring the invention to the market. Now, well, just let me step back a little bit, because I want to explain the beauty of the patent system. Honestly, the idea that or the concept that an idea can be property, that's what's amazing to me. And like I said previously, like an ordinary average citizen can have that property. But what's really interesting about the patent system is the idea of disclosure, that you share your idea with the world, and then in return, if it has merit, then you can have a time-limited monopoly. And so what that does is that actually provides protection for the inventor. But the disclosure portion, it allows variation in the market. People can see it and make improvements. They can make it better. They can see flaws with it. And so that's what's really cool about the patent system. It also allows for investment to happen. That gives you the time so investors can actually start investing into it. So that is what has made the innovation engine really amazing in the United States. And so that's what the role of the patent system is supposed to do. It allows an ordinary private citizen, no matter what creed, race, religion, they can compete in the market. Now, does it actually give that protection? Well, the law is there to do that, but just I'll voice what everybody else has said here. That, there are stakeholders that do have concerns, and I'll actually pull out a quote here from John Whelan. He's the Intellectual Property Advisory Board Association. He's the Dean for the Intellectual Property Law Studies at George Washington University. He testified at the United States House of Representatives hearing. And he said that inter-parties review, the fact that you can actually review a patent and take it back, that has devalued every single United States patent. So there are some concerns, some very valid concerns. There are over 1,400 IPRs that are filed every year. That's 3.5 times as many as the United States estimated to Congress whenever the American Invents Act was passed. And IPR petitioners fare much better than patentees. The IPRs are instituted over 60% of the time. And in final decisions, some claims are invalidated over 80% of the times. So, that's what people in the industry are saying, that they do have some sorry, my mouth is dry. They do have some concerns, and they think that maybe Congress ought to take a second look at this American Invents Act system. So that's what the patents should do. And what do they actually do? That's a really great discussion. I think that's why we're all here today.
Can you elaborate more on the patent system with respect to opportunity and representation?
To answer that question, I'll talk about what happened with the Success Act and representation. So last year, my wife and I, we gave a speech and we talked about basically what the problems were with the patent system. So the Success Act is the study of underrepresented classes chasing engineering and science. It was an act that was passed by Congress and that required the Patent Office to do a study on why there is an underrepresentation amongst patent holders, and then what they can do, what legislative recommendations they can provide to the Congress so that they can improve and increase the numbers of underrepresented groups getting patents. My wife is a minority female, and she spoke about the issue. And her first thing that she said, what good is a patent if you can't defend it? And that question really just shocked everybody in the room. And to answer another question here about should there be an independent inventor's voice on PPAC? Yes, there should be, just because of that, because they actually were shocked. I watched the next quarterly meeting with the PPAC whenever they actually reviewed what happened with the Success Act testimonies, and they were actually shocked of the response. In fact, 79% of the inventors who did testify said that enforcement concerns is actually a barrier to entry into even applying for a patent in the first place. And it was mentioned here earlier, people are going to China because you can get more patents and get better protection there. That actually might be a reality. And so, if we really want to have solid representation, if the Patent Office truly cares about diversity, I really do think they need to think about the second dimension, the ability to defend a patent once you actually do receive it.
Jeff Hardin, 30-second final statement.
Thank you guys for having this. I'm confident that I'll be the voice for inventors on the Patent Public Advisory Committee. I would help repair the disconnect between the Patent Office and inventor stakeholders. I would encourage the Patent Office to understand the challenges that inventors face to enforce their patents. I would help provide legislative oversight and work within the Patent Office on their policy efforts. And most importantly, I would want to return to the golden standard. I think when a patent is actually issued, it should be gold. You should be able to hold that up in the air so that you can get investors, and there can be an incentive for inventors to actually go and invent more things. So that's my closing statement. Thank you, and I've really enjoyed this conversation.